Trey Young had a very underwhelming start to the season, as through his first 11 games, he was averaging 23.4 points per game, 2.6 rebounds per game, 11.1 assists per game on 35.6, 28.2, 89.8 splits, and a 53.4 true shooting percentage. However, since then, he's been playing out of his mind, as over his last 14 games, he's averaging 32 points per game, 3.3 rebounds per game, 11.1 assists per game on 48.2, 44.2, 83.8 splits, and a 63.2 true shooting percentage. Longtime subscribers of the channel know my thoughts about Trey Young, but for those who don't know, I'm very pro Trey. He's one of the most impressive basketball players I've ever seen, and in this video, I just want to remind people of how special of a talent he is. But quickly before we go any further, if you're new and like basketball, I'd really appreciate it if you would like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. I'm notified whenever I release a video. I make videos about basketball all the time, and liking and subscribing are the two best ways can help me out in the YouTube algorithm, help support the channel, and I'll be reaching my goal of 10,000 subscribers by the end of the season. Let's try and get 100 likes on this video so YouTube will recommend it to others. Anyways, let's talk about Trey Young. Trey Young is an anomaly in the modern NBA. He's 6'1", 164 pounds with a 6'2" wingspan. Based off NBA history, he shouldn't be an NBA player based off his measurements and athletic profile. He's a small guard that doesn't have the wingspan or athleticism to make up for being that sort. We have seen super talented players in the past not pan out at the NBA level with similar profiles to Trey. Sharife Cooper, Markus Howard, Carsen Edwards, and Tremont Waters, just to name a few. But Trey hasn't just made it to the NBA level, he's found massive amounts of success at the NBA level, and that has to do with his generational level of skill and feel for the game. Trey Young's finishing numbers may not be the best, as he shoots 54.7% at the rim on 4.2 attempts per game. However, where he makes up for it is by being massively effective in his ability to not only draw fouls, but embrace physicality, as he's in the 98th percentile in free throw attempts. I know his foul baiting can be viewed as annoying. I know he does flop on plays, but at the same time, he's way more susceptible to contact because of how small he is, and he uses that to his advantage, which is why I'm not as critical toward Trey as I am with other players when it comes to foul baiting. Although in general, I don't really care as much about foul baiting as much as most NBA fans do. It's a part of the game that's been prevalent for years. Almost all high-level scorers get to the line a lot, and for Trey to be as effective of an NBA player as he is, drawing contact has to be a big part of his game, which is why he does it. Trey is also one of the best shot creators in basketball. He has one of the best handles in the NBA, he's quick and shifty, elite accel and deceleration, he has natural counters, he creates space at an elite level, he beats defenders to spots, he has great shooting touch, and his ability to be effective on all three levels combined with that makes him one of the best scorers in the NBA. Trey Young is a polarizing three-point shooter in the eyes of fans. He showcases deep shooting range, off-bounce creation, and high volume, but he's never been a super efficient three-point shooter, especially for his volume and reputation as a three-point shooter. But he's also far from a bad shooter. In a lot of ways, he reminds me of prime James Harden, where it's going to be in the mid to high 30s on high volume, but it's really impressive considering the degree of difficulty. He is shooting really well from three this season, but what always has impressed me with Trey as a shooter is how he leverages his reputation from beyond the arc. Defenses don't care that the basketball reference page shows that Trey Young is a 33 to 35 from three shooter for his career. They guard him at half court. They don't gap or give him space when he's 30 plus feet from the basket. because despite not being uber efficient from 3, he's still a major threat as a shooter. But where Trey Young is most underrated as a shooter is the mid-range area. According to Clean the Glass, Trey Young is shooting 46% on 5.6 short mid-range attempts per game, which are shots between 4 feet and just within 14 feet, and he's shooting 40% on 2.1 long mid-range attempts per game, which are shots between 14 feet and just within the 3-point line. I believe as a scorer, this part of his game makes him the most effective, because I believe the mid-range area is one that opens up the rest of your offense, due to it being another area teams have to worry about outside of the traditional layups and threes that have become a trend in the modern NBA. But what makes Trey so unique as a mid-range scorer is he's not the big wings that Jaylen Brown or DeMar DeRozan are, or the most extreme example, Kevin Durant. He's a 6'1" point guard that is great from this area, and even compared to another small guard that's great from the mid-range in Jalen Brunson, Trey is very different from him. One, because he's shorter than Jalen Brunson, but also because he's not as strong or physical as Jalen Brunson is as a player. While Trey Young is a legit 3-level scorer that's proven to be effective at this level of the game, what makes him one of the best players in the NBA is combining that scoring ability with generational playmaking ability. And I don't say generational lightly. His vision is elite. His accuracy is elite. He's great in the PNR. He can throw lobs. He's a great manipulator, extremely creative as a passer, high field player, and most importantly, he leverages his scoring gravity to his advantage. The sign of a great playmaker isn't just about being a great passer. It's about the ability to create advantages as both a scorer and passer, which Trey does at the highest level. One way or another, he's going to create an advantage, bend a defense to his will, which truly speaks to his ability to take over games. He's either going to leverage the scoring gravity to create advantages for teammates, or leverage his passing gravity to create advantages for himself. When you combine his playmaking intangibles with his 3-level scoring, you get one of the 10 best offensive players in the NBA. The NBA is full of special talents, and I'm not saying Trey Young is the best player in the NBA, because he's not. But to me, he's the most impressive player in the game today, because Trey Young shouldn't be this good. Based off the history of players with his athletic and physical profile, he shouldn't have made it to the NBA level, let alone be an all-NBA level talent, averaging nearly 30 points per game and 10 assists per game in his second NBA season, averaging 27 points per game and 10 assists per game over his last 2 NBA seasons, consistently having a usage rate over 30 while being on a team that at best has made the conference finals and at worst is a play-in team, consistently being above the league average true shooting percentage while producing at the level he does, while also only having 25% of his offensive production assisted on. A 6'1", 164-pound, small wingspan guard that isn't an explosive vertical athlete shouldn't be this good. He shouldn't be able to average 25 plus points per game and 10 plus assists per game on good efficiency while creating almost all of his offense on the ball. That's what makes Trey Young so special. It's not just about his handle, the deep shooting range, and throwing cool passes. It's about the fact he's one of the most gifted offensive players in NBA history. And you can disagree with that all you want, but that's the level of talent it takes to overcome the physical and athletic limitations that Trey has. And based off what he's done at the NBA level, it's clear he's an outlier talent, and I would go as far to say he's a generational talent. I know that word gets thrown around a lot, and I'm not saying that in the sense of there'll never be players as good as Trey, because there are players right now that are better than Trey. It's easily over 10 plus that are better right now, but he's generational in the sense of there's no one else like him in the NBA. There's nobody that is as good as he is despite his limitations. and I don't think we'll see another player like him for a very long time. But that's the end of this video. If you made it to this point, thank you so much. Again, haven't already, like, subscribe, hit notification bell, notified whenever I release a video. I make videos about basketball all the time, and liking and subscribing are the two best ways can help me out in the YouTube algorithm, help support the channel, and help me reach my goal of 10,000 subscribers by the end of the season. Let's try and get 100 likes on this video so YouTube will recommend it to others. Let me know what you think about Trey Young in the comment section below. But with that being said, have a nice day, and I'll see you guys in the next one.